I've now made over 500 YouTube videos recommending FIFA career mode save ideas. I've posted a few series of my own, including one with Reims and 2 Megacareers, but today we're turning the tables. In this episode, we'll be looking at another 6 of your career mode saves, and I'll be rating them based on how good I think they are. All of the saves posted in today's video were posted over on Discord, so if you're interested in being in a future video, make sure you join with the link in the description below. Don't forget to play along and post your ratings in the comments below so we can try and find the best save of all time. Today, I've picked out some of my favourite saves that I've seen, so where will we be heading first? We'll be heading to Liverpool to have a look at Mazier's Shawn D career. I say Dyche instead of Everton because this full manual save only took place in Everton for 6 seasons. Dyche moved to Newcastle for the final 2 years of this career. Everything about this save screams realism, from playing on the pitch with full manual passing, shooting and crossing, to the off the pitch squad depth charts, transfer ideas and player wages. In short, it's one of the most impressive submissions I've ever been sent. Let's have a quick rundown of how Shawn Dyche performed. In Season 1, relegation was avoided because Luka Jovic fired Everton to 12th place. After a surprising finish of 6th in Season 2, AZ Alkmaar were thrashed 4-0 in the Conference League final, and Shawn Dyche won his first trophy with Everton. At this point, you're probably guessing that the save ends with a Premier League title, but I think you'd be wrong. The realism at the heart of the save meant some of the club's bigger players moved to bigger clubs, and Everton fell down from 6th to 8th. Moliero became Dyche's first ever Spanish signing, but things got worse for Season 4. After 10 years, Everton's leading Premier League goalscorer and FA Cup winner Dominic Calvert-Lewin left the club on a free transfer. This meant for Season 5 a rebuild was needed. After scoring just 5 goals in 2 seasons, Moliero became Manchester United's record signing. Everton dropped down to 12th place, and it looked like Dyche was losing his touch at Everton. Luckily for him though, 19th place Newcastle swooped in, hoping to renew some of the promise that he showed early in his Everton career. Unfortunately for them though, their awful form early in the season led to Newcastle's relegation. Dyche wasn't to blame, but he still leads the club in the Championship, and that's where we leave the save. So let's get on to reviewing it. As always, we'll be rating the saves based on realism, save idea quality and difficulty, with 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. For realism, as we mentioned earlier, both the squad and the achievements are basically spot on, and I think this is almost a perfect attempt at realism. I'm giving this a 9.8. The save idea is cool too. Shawn Dyche is a little bit of a Discord meme, so we'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Finally, for difficulty, it's clear that the Premier League was almost the exact right difficulty, even with a team in the low 80s to mid 80s, so we'll give it a 9 out of 10 for difficulty, and this has been a great start to the episode. I hope you guys also enjoyed Mazier's save, and hopefully I said your name right. Thanks for sending your save, it was a great way to start the episode. Talking about saving things, today's video is sponsored by Manscaped, and April is National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, which is why this collaboration means quite a lot to me. Cancer has hit both my family and my partner's family quite hard recently, so when I found out that Manscaped's donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society, it seemed like a really worthwhile collaboration. Did you know that 1 man every hour, every single day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer among men aged 15 to 35. That's why Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help you take care down there. It all makes sense, right? When things are groomed, it's so much easier to find problems, and I've used these products for years and I can confirm they really do work very well. The Lawnmower Ultra 5.0 is waterproof, it features skin-safe technology, and now even has a removable foil blade. It's even got an LED light, and this is actually bright enough to light up my entire gaming setup. If you're interested in picking one of these up, check out the link in the description below, and thank you yet again Manscaped for partnering with both me and the Testicular Cancer Society. Anyway, let's get back to rating some saves. For our second save of the episode, we're heading to the south of France, where Sermon has used storylines and Thierry Henry to try and rebuild Monaco. You might remember a similar save from last year, because Sermon did this exact same save in a video I did back then. It's kind of a similar situation again this year. He's rebuilt the team with some nice transfers, but the team isn't quite good enough to win the title because PSG are slightly better. I decided to include this save for 2 reasons. First is the amount of games that Sermon's played, with 199 matches played over 4 seasons. The second reason is the idea to use Facebook Messenger as a way to share the story of his save. In these chats that he's made, you can see there's a lot of effort gone into it to try and build a storyline while also trying to keep the save and some of the objectives a bit more realistic. At the end of Season 4, this series of messages was actually how he announced that the save was going to end. They used storylines, they used Discord for advice, and unfortunately, the save was finished. But that means one thing, we now get to rate it. So let's start with realism, and the transfers do look good as we said, the storylines look good as we said, and the slow progress towards the title does look good too. I think this is a 9 out of 10 for realism. Maybe if a few players here and there were sold to make the team a little bit weaker, it would be a 9.5, but it was a really good effort. I like the idea behind the save too, but I can't be too generous with this because it's not the first Thierry Henry Monaco save that I've been submitted. So let's keep this at about a 7.5 out of 10. Finally, for difficulty, clearly the difficulty isn't too easy, as even with a team in the high 80s, the French league looks close and you've not stormed all the way through Europe. We'll give it an 8 out of 10 for difficulty. Hopefully you guys enjoyed learning about Sherman's save, and thanks for sending in your save because I'm already looking forward to reviewing your FC25 Monaco save in about 12 months time. Before we fully rate some of the saves, I thought I'd shout out both Souza and Steven who filled their threads with tons of super high quality graphics. Rather than fully reviewing these unfinished saves, I thought I'd wait for them to finish before including them in a different video. Souza's save is with Athletic Bilbao, which is always one of my favourite saves to read about. Souza used the Basque policy to keep their squad realistic, and they also posted an update from every single match they played. Their manager had a super detailed and interesting backstory, and hopefully Souza keeps enjoying this save because I would love to review the full save once it's finished. If you're interested in reading what we've got so far, head over to the Discord with the link that's in the description. Steven's save was equally interesting, but probably has a more interesting save idea. He's playing as Melbourne in a English Super League save. The 4 leagues of England have been filled with foreign teams based on overall rating, and Steven has also used a realistic set of guidelines to keep things a bit more difficult. With Van Persie and Tom Brady in senior positions at his club, one of the original squad, Fornaroli, stepped up and Steven celebrated his Player of the Month with a series of graphics. The amount of effort it takes to create and share these is worth including, so hopefully this kind of creativity can inspire you with some of your own saves. We've also got time for one last full review in today's video, so let's end this video by heading back to the Premier League. This time it's Red who posted their Wolves save, which is all focused on the manager Sergio Conceição. The longtime Porto manager has moved to England and he's continuing that tradition Wolves have of signing Portuguese players. While Red did eventually feel burnt out with the save halfway through 2025, they have now picked it up again and continued, but what they shared before is actually still a really good story. To summarise, Conceição joined Wolves with the ambitious goal of winning the Champions League and developing one of the best squads in Europe all within 15 years. Red decided to not make any transfers in Season 1, which I think is a cool idea. This first season did have some good wins, like this one against Manchester United, but it did also have some very bad losses, like this 4-0 loss away at Crystal Palace. Wolves still had a decent 9th place finish in their first season under Conceição. The last game of the season was the FA Cup final, and somehow Aston Villa went on to beat Wolves in a crazy cup final, which ended 4-3. This defeat seemed to really motivate Red. With Wolves now having a revamped team and new kits, they went on to snatch 4th place the season after on goal difference, which meant Wolves were one step closer to that first Champions League win. Ruben Neves returned, and I have to say, this team does look pretty damn fun. Season 3 is the final season that's been uploaded so far, and we're going to end this review with Wolves first place in the Premier League and into the qualifying rounds of the Champions League. Red felt a little bit burnt out at this point, but he has started playing it a little bit, so there is going to be updates in the thread if you're interested in reading more. I think we all hope that he can give Wolves the season that they deserve. But let's rate what we have so far. For realism, as we mentioned earlier, the squad and general idea are also very believable, and it's another really good attempt at realism, so we're going to give a 9 out of 10 for this. The save idea is cool too, but I have to say that Wolves Portugal rebuilds are fairly common, so let's just give this a 6.5 out of 10. Finally, for difficulty, I think clearly the difficulty is about perfect, as even in a team that's in the high 80s, the Premier League still looks kinda close. I think I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 for difficulty. Hopefully you guys also enjoyed looking at Red's save. Thanks for sending it in, and thank you to everyone who sent a save in. I promise you, I read every single one, and I wish I could have used more, but I didn't want this video to be too long. Make sure you post your ratings in the comments, and next time we'll be doing a massive vote to try and find the best save that I've ever reviewed. I'll let you know more about that over on Twitter and on my Instagram, which are both linked in the description. But for now, thank you for watching. Check out the playlist and the video on screen right now. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.